Hello everybody and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon solo video. Today we'll be beating extreme mode with the new LCA Udjat Outis. She is the definition of power creep, as with her being a sinking identity, she invalidates her previous strongest sinking identity of Butler Otis in practically every way. That's not even mentioning the fact that she's also a very powerful tank identity on top of that, or the fact that she's a decent tremor identity. Although the one part of her kit that is the least fleshed out is in fact her tremor, as while she has it, she doesn't really do anything special with it. In fact, I'd go as far to say that it's literally only there because she uses a shotgun, and if it wasn't for that specific weapon type, she probably wouldn't have it at all. Otis already has better options for tremor, so while she is usable for it, Udjat Outis certainly wouldn't be my first pick for tremor. In any case, sinking is her primary status effect and is the reason why you would want to use her in the first place. Honestly, she doesn't do anything that's that different to her counterpart of Butler Otis, as their sinking application is actually pretty similar, so if you are exclusively judging them based off of that, they could pretty much be interchangeable. Obviously, with them being so similar, the main reason why Udjat gets the edge is purely because she does more raw damage, but if you are still just looking at the sinking, she does actually have one thing that Butler doesn't. Udjat comes with a unique panic type similar to that of Echoes of the Manor. Hers, Blue Sand, inflicts up to 3 sinking count per turn whenever you win a clash. Obviously 3 count is substantially less than Echo's potentially infinite count, however the main benefit of it comes from the fact that every unique panic type is capable of stacking with each other. This means that because there are 2 other sources of Echoes in the game that are not dependent on using an Otis identity, you can have both Echoes and Blue Sand on the same team and sacrifice absolutely nothing for it. This is the real reason why Butler Otis has been completely power crept by this identity. There are exclusively 2 reasons to use Butler Otis now, and that is if for some reason you need a lust skill or an evade, or if you just like the butlers, I guess. That's it. Nothing else she can do comes even close to what Udjat Outis does. This identity is just a straight direct upgrade and is objectively better in every way. Anyway, there's not really much else I can say about her that's too significant, so to start the run off, we'll be skipping all of the first 10 floors because they were incredibly boring, and start at floor 11 with these starter buffs and ego gifts. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon video. As you can see, yeah, we're doing Ricardo. And I am in fact doing post-commentary this time because I didn't want to record my voice while I was doing the actual run. Anyway, yeah, Ricardo, floor 11. He's really only a difficult fight if you get him past floor 13 because, yeah, counters can be very deadly, but only if he has a lot of damage, or you get the adversity that removes his stagger bar. Otherwise, he's kind of one of the easiest fights to beat, to be honest. Anyway, I don't have much time to talk about Ricardo because, yeah, of the intro, and I don't want to add a random scene to the beginning of it, but here's the actual, like, main boss of the floor 11. The Wild Hunt. I'm not going to be showing like any of the ego gifts I pick up in extreme mode because pretty much none of them are that impactful. It's like just a few things here or there at this point which just give like a little bit of extra clash power or something insignificant like that, right? It's nothing relevant anymore at this point. Like you pretty much pick everything up beforehand, and yeah, I did kind of forget to actually show it, so yeah, the actual like ego gifts that I did have to show you guys, it was kind of like not the greatest quality, I'll say that much, but pretty much everything there is significant. Like as long as you just assume I have every single tremor, sinking, and poise ego gift in the game, as well as the most important like non-conditional ones, then yeah, you pretty much know what ego gifts I have at that point. The only ego gift I can really mention about to say that's like really unfortunate is the specific Limbus Company high quality gear or whatever it's called. High risk operational gear, I think. I didn't get that one. I tried to, like, I wanted to get it obviously because this is a Limbus Company identity, but I couldn't get it. The game didn't give it to me, so oh well. What can you do, right? You get one chance, and if you don't get the ego gift you want, then you're completely screwed. And that's the worst part about extreme mode. Like, that's the reason why I don't like extreme mode, is because it requires like so much effort and specific ego gifts that you can only get on specific floors. And if you just get unlucky and don't get it, like the Limbus Company gear, you're out of luck. You can't do anything about it. That's the biggest reason why I don't like extreme mode, but it's fine to do every once in a while, you know? There's nothing really that wrong with it if you... maybe like once a month or something, you know? But any more than that is just no. And on top of that, like the secret bosses of Ricardo and the like, it's just so... extreme mode is just so RNG dependent, you know? Because whether or not you get the secret bosses, it makes it like 10 times easier. Like, specifically this run, right? Because I got Ricardo on the first floor, like the rest of them are easy. And here's a bit of a spoiler for the future fights, but yeah, he's not the only secret boss we take. And it's like, you know, the reason why the secret bosses are so powerful is their unique ego gifts they give you. Like, practically none of them actually do anything for this identity, you know? But they do give extra coin power, and that's the biggest thing, because extra coin power means more damage, more clash power, specifically more clash power. And that just makes extreme mode 10 times easier the more secret bosses you have. Anyway, as for this specific fight itself against the Wild Hunt, it's another fight that you don't want to take past floor 13 because of the, just like Ricardo, the counters of these Wrath Pecatulam right here. If you take it past floor 13, you get the adversity that removes the first stagger bar, and these guys only have one stagger bar, so they just can't be staggered, and if they can't be staggered, they'll counter you to death. That's one of the reasons why I like taking this floor, to be honest, because I did lose a fight against them once, and yeah, every time I take it is just basically vengeance at that point. But yeah, not too difficult. Honestly, the most interesting thing about this identity is the fact that, like, specifically in extreme mode, is she gets 5 reloads in her entire kit, right? And she starts with 16 ammo. And the only skill of hers that spends ammo is her skill 3. Which is like, that is a lot of bullets, you know? That is the most amount of bullets any identity has. It gives her a total of 20 skill 3 uses with bullets. Which in a normal fight, right, that's never going to, you're never going to use all of them. But in extreme mode, because everything's health pool is so unbelievably bloated, and you're going to be using your skill 3 a lot because it's the most powerful, is like, running out of bullets is actually a pretty big threat here, you know? Anyway, on to floor 12. We picked the beautiful voice floor because I've never actually picked this floor, and I wanted to see what it's like. First boss is Cromer, which honestly isn't really any different than her regular, like, non-extreme mode version. You still need a corrode by turn 3, or else, you know, she'll put you in a stagger lock for all of the rest of the fight. So yeah, you gotta corrode on by turn 3, so you can break out of that stagger lock. Honestly, it's a little awkward for this identity, not this identity, but Otis, specifically with the egos I brought, because, yeah, I can't use Ebony Stem because that's a positive coin skill. And if you use any positive coin skill at all, then Faith activates, which is one of the ego gifts we have, and that instantly resets your sanity and makes it so you can't corrode. So yeah, I gotta use... Not that I need to use Ebony Stem, right? Like Binds and the other one is fine, but the sanity cost was actually very close. So I definitely got lucky by not being able to clash a few times here or there against Cromer with the egos, because if I clashed a little too much, I would heal too much sanity and it would be awkward, to say the least. But yeah, after that, being able to get out of the third turn with the corrosion, it's like, Cromer's not a hard fight. She really isn't. It's literally just that stagger lock that makes her difficult. Your skill check is funny because it's entirely pointless. Scarlet Moth's triggers the next turn and instantly kills Cromer. Hilarious. Nice skill check. Anyway, Dongrang, the one who denies all. He's the second boss on this floor. Not any harder than Cromer. In fact, he's 10 times easier because he doesn't have any special gimmick. You just shoot him and he dies. That's it. I don't really have anything to say about him. If it was his other version, but it can't be the other version of him, right? Because the other version is his, manifestation of ego, which defeats the point of the theme of this theme pack, right? Which is corrosion, not ego awakening. Also 40 health, survives, almost one turn him. But this is the real reason why we picked this floor right here, is for Heathcliff the Heartbroken, a fight that is only accessible in extreme mode. Obviously the story pack too, but like in the mirror dungeon it's only accessible in extreme mode. It's a cool fight. I like the music for it the most, to be honest, but honestly the fight itself is kind of, you can write it off just as much as Dongrang's, because Heathcliff doesn't really do anything. It's probably just because he's the last fight, you know, and because of that you can very easily clash with everything. But yeah, he just doesn't put up much of a fight. He doesn't do anything. He just kind of dies. He has one like unopposed attack that does like no damage, but that's it, really. Pretty easy floor. Literally the only difficulty is Cromer, because she needs to be, you need a crow by turn 3 and that's it. So if you don't, it makes it this floor a little tricky to take like late, because yeah, there are the adversities that make using egos cost a lot more. So yeah, Cromer could be a problem if you take it too late. And here's secret boss number 2, Don Quixote of La Mancha Land. I hate this fight. I genuinely hate this fight. God, it's awful. It's not a bad fight, don't get me wrong, right? But it's like the replayability value of it is what makes it terrible. And it's entirely because of this first section here with, you know, dealing with the blood fiends that come out of the Ferris wheel. It genuinely takes like 10 turns to get through it, and it's so tedious and boring, and it's like, ugh. The first time I did it, I tried to solo it, like in the actual story mode, and I failed a couple of times, and like a couple of those times it was just because I lost like a random coin roll here or there at some point, or because it was the first time, right? I was playing through it, I didn't understand the gimmicks, and so I let something go through that I shouldn't have. The point is, if you lose at this fight, at any point after the Ferris wheel section, it is a slog to get through it. And even now, it's just kind of boring. So yeah, I skipped through pretty much the entire Ferris wheel section because like, who cares? It's all the same. The blood fiends come out, you kill them, you kill the Ferris wheel carts, you win. Like, nothing happens. It's 10 turns of literally nothing. You could genuinely start it here with Don Quixote and just give us all of our skill slots to begin with, and nothing would change. No challenge, no nothing. The one most interesting thing about this fight specifically, and why actually this identity is pretty good against blood fiends in particular, is something I didn't mention in the initial thing, is that her defense skill is actually like really, really good. Because it gives her a percentage of her health depending on how much protection she has, and she gains quite a bit of protection actually. So it's like her defense skill can genuinely give her like upwards of 80 shield, which is really good for blood fiends specifically, because if you ever take bleed damage, or I should say if you take bleed damage on a shield, it doesn't actually add any it doesn't actually add that damage to Blood Feast, right? So pretty much any damage we take here from bleed doesn't actually benefit Don Quixote at all. You know? All of the Blood Feast generated was from the Blood Fiends, and that's it. None of it was from us because of that shield. Honestly, her shield is pretty... I'd say it's a fairly underrated aspect of her kit, to be honest. It's very strong. And floor 13 is the Fairy Queen. Why this floor? Because I like this floor. That's why. It's got one of my favorite tracks playing on it, so why not, right? Love Second Warning. But anyways, this fight is also kind of a little strange because I don't exactly understand how it works, to be honest. Like the Fairy Queen has this passive that makes it so she takes like 75% less damage, and that damage reduction is then transferred to the fairies, or her fairy minions. So it definitely makes this fight take a lot longer, but it's like, I don't know, I never actually feel the effect of that, right? Like I'm actually doing damage to the other fairies. It's very strange. I mean, obviously, as you can see, like, they are losing health. But it's like, it never feels like it's enough health, you know what I mean? It's like there's some weird calculation going on that's just wrong or something. I don't know. This fight just feels weird to me in extreme mode. I would definitely never take it like later than floor 13 though. Not because of the you know, the whole anti-stagger adversity that exists, but just because, like, if the health gets too bloated in this fight, it takes forever. It really does, because of that damage reduction passive. And it's like, the only way to start doing normal damage is if you kill all the fairy masses on one turn, because I'm pretty sure they continuously respawn for pretty much forever, right? The only reason they don't here is because, you know, stuff like Eclipse of Scarlet Moths triggers and kills them after the respawn check has happened. But yeah, in extreme mode, like, their health pool is so bloated that you'll never be able to kill them in the same turn that you're also damaging the Fairy Queen. And so it's like she pretty much has a permanent 75% damage reduction, or whatever number it is. And that combined with the massive health pool, this fight can take genuinely upwards of like 30 minutes to beat. I'm not even kidding. It's not a very fun fight if you take it any later than this.
다른 부서에 있는 애고까지 가져오길 잘했지. 적재 접수했으니까 이만큼 효율적인 일도 없잖아.
범은 뭘 써야 하는지 딱 느낌이 엎어놓고 공격하는 것보다 저걸 잘 관찰하는 게 좋은
머리 좋다 탄테. 방금 완전 좋았어.
확인 사살. 있는 힘껏 찔러놓고 으껴놨지만 저것들은 언젠가 다시 재생하겠지.
And next up, floor 14. What is this called? The Uncorp New League of 9, I think, is the name of this floor. This is a special floor for this run because it's the only one where I actually ever failed, and it's entirely because of just, you know, the worst adversities of them all is the ones that reduce your sanity, or I should say the ones that cap it out at 35 and 30. Because, yeah, they make it so you just lose clashes randomly, and those lost clashes cost you a run. And that's exactly what happens here in a second. Very cool. I just missed one random coin, and yeah, Starbuck kills us. Very cool. I love extreme mode. It's such a good game mode, am I right? Absolutely awesome. The only difference between this run and the last one is that I did actually manage to win a clash on the first turn, so got a little bit of damage off on the Starbuck, but it doesn't really make it much of a difference, to be honest. All that matters is we actually do damage on the second turn so that we can get the Greycoat healing. But yeah, rest of this fight, pretty easy. Gotta ignore Ahab right now because Quixote is protecting her, but next turn we're able to just focus her down entirely. Honestly, the biggest thing about this specific, like, floor is it's definitely the longest floor of them all. And so, for this entire run, I was basically, or not this run, but this floor, I was basically always wary of how much ammo I was spending. And so that's why, like, in the future turns, I typically don't use the skill 3s if I don't have to. Because this is a pretty long fight, especially with it being on floor 14. And right here, I probably didn't need a clash against Quixote because I'm fairly certain I could have just killed Ahab straight up, but like, don't want to risk it, you know? It's extreme mode. It's very likely you just don't have enough damage, and then Quixote would kill us because, yeah, she's doing over like 200 damage per skill, and we use both of our revives, so yeah, better safe than sorry. And Nelly. Pretty easy fight. Literally win rate the whole thing. Or at least I could have win rated it if I wasn't managing my ammo. Taking yeah, the only real like challenge that Nelly has, honestly, taking this fight past floor 13 so that you get the extra, or that you remove the first stagger bar, is actually a good thing in this fight, unironically, because Nelly has this mechanic where after she recovers from stagger, she uses a skill that will stagger you for the rest of the fight unless you clash against a specific skill of hers. So it's like, if you take this floor before floor 14, she will use that you will stagger her, right? She'll recover from stagger, and then she'll use that skill. And then you'll likely kill her before you can clash against the one skill that removes that status effect from you. So in the next fight, you have like 2 turns to win. All because like you did too much damage to Nelly. Doesn't happen here because, yeah, we just kill her, but yeah. It is a possibility, and it is something you have to think about. Honestly, nothing else to really say about the frauds. Like, they don't do much. They really don't. The only thing I really can say is that, yeah, we did actually manage to spend all of our ammo in this fight, which is, it's crazy, like, 20 skills. She needs to use 20 skill 3s to be able to use all of her ammo. It's like, when you think about it, the amount of skills we have, it's like 7 per turn, after turn 7. And if they're all skill 3s, it's like, if you think about it like that, it's like, yeah, it makes sense that you devour the ammo, right? But at the same time, it's like 75 bullets? 80 bullets? Yeah, 80 bullets. It's a ridiculous amount.
그렇게 했을 테지. 이만하면 훌륭하군요.
방금 멋졌어. 너희들의 사랑의 힘이, 빛의 힘이 저 어둡고 악한 아르카나들을 뒤흔들어.
But yeah, no ammo. We run out.
시간 문제겠지?
헤세드 같은 놈들은 이 광경을 좀 봐야 해.
Doesn't really make much of a difference because they're basically already dead, but yeah, we did run out of ammo, which is funny. Could have wanted to turn earlier if we didn't. We just had like 4 more bullets. And the last secret boss, floor 15, Kokomi and Virgilius. Honestly, this is probably like one of the easiest secret bosses. Especially on floor 15, I'd say he probably is the easiest. Or she? I don't know. It's both, I guess. Anyways, this fight, like, yeah, it's not that bad. It really isn't. Especially because we got 2 secret bosses before this, so it's like our clash power is very high. And it's like on the first turn I did use Ebony Stem specifically to be able to win a clash because it rolls pretty high. And without the clear mirror calm water buffs of the offense level, it's like you don't really roll high enough to be able to win a clash there otherwise. But more importantly, the main reason why I use that ego is to turn off our lust weakness because, yeah, we probably would die like 10 times. We probably would die already by now if we still had that lust weakness. So using that ego was definitely necessary, I think. But pretty much everything after this point, like the first 3 turns, it's like they don't have enough skills to be able to do any damage, and all the unbreakable coins, they don't do any damage either. And then on top of that, after this turn, I start using the defense skill as well, which gives us a ton of shield. So, yeah. Virgilius can't do anything. Not really.
가제, 이것은 느지하게 갖다 써야지.
약측 보강 완료.
별로 어려울 것도 없잖아.
Best attack in the game, by the way. You literally get hit by a JPEG of the bus. I love it.
포위망 구축.
You know, that attack, that bus attack, it seems like it would be very powerful, but it's like, it didn't even break our shield. That's how crazy, like, tanky this identity is. I mean, we're constantly have, like, near 10 protection, and then on top of that, it's like, you get, like, half your health bar and shield every time you use the defense skill. This identity can genuinely be, like, very unkillable if you let them, like... Yeah.
방금 전에는 굉장했다고. 베르게 그 인간도 이건 인정할 걸.
포위망 구축. 억제 성공. 진짜. 격발.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
억제 성공. 진짜. 적개체 무력화. 확인 사슬.
오, 머리 좋다 단테. 방금 완전 좋았어.
오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어. 메이저.
And the final boss fights of the floor. We took line 3 because, I don't know, I felt like it.
그러지. 그것은 급하게 갖다 써야지.
These fights are not that bad. Like, obviously we die turn 1. That's a guarantee on pretty much every single floor, no matter what. But the actual like main difficulty of this floor in particular is like the constant chip damage you take from things like the poison from the Ambling Pearl and the burn from the Ardor Blossom Moth. But it's like, at the same time, this late in the mirror dungeon, you should absolutely have some kind of consistent healing. Most likely Greycoat, which we do. And it's like, Greycoat just completely nullifies any and all chip damage you take. Poison doesn't make a difference. Burn doesn't make a difference. And it's like, yeah. These bosses' main gimmicks, like the Ambling Pearl with his shell being like very resistant to damage, and the final one of the Spiral of Contempt also having a similar gimmick of being resistant to damage. It's completely nullified by just having Lunar Memory, so... Yeah. These fights, they honestly don't translate very well into the Mirror Dungeon, if I'm being completely honest. Because just by playing the Mirror Dungeon normally, it's like, it completely counters their entire gimmicks, so... Not really very special bosses, I'd say.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸.
포위망 구축. 적개체 무력. 적개체 무력.
대성공이야.
적개체 무력.
I do kill the goop on that turn because it's like the Ambling Pearl is gonna die anyways, and I'm pretty sure if you keep them alive, you still get a lot of poison, so it's better to kill them on that turn than keep them alive if you can. And the Ardor Blossom Moth. The Ardor Blossom Moth is a pretty scary fight, like earlier in the Mirror Dungeon, like way earlier, before floor 10, I mean. And that's pretty much exclusively because it is the only boss in those floors, right? And if you have it as the only boss, that means you take substantially more burn damage. And the biggest problem with that is there's a skill check that appears like halfway through the fight, which doubles your burn damage if you fail it, and you're almost guaranteed to always fail it. So it's like, you get a max burn stack very, very quickly in this fight if you don't have enough skill slots to clash with everything. But that's the thing, right? It's only that way if you can't clash against it, because most of its burn damage comes from on-hit stuff. So if you can clash against it, it's like, there's no burn damage on you. And because there's no burn damage on you, that skill check does nothing, and yeah, it's like, the boss, the Moth is a very easy fight with basically nothing going on.
억제 성공. 진짜
이만하면 훌륭하고.
격발.
와, 엄청난 공격이었어. 기념할 만한 걸.
억제 성공. 진적개체 무력화.
ター
확인
タさん
사살.
の作戦とても効果的でした。
And then, of course, the Spiral of Contempt, which is completely countered, as I mentioned, by Lunar Memory. Its main gimmick is the fact that it is tanky, and that is basically it. So, pick up the Ego Gift that completely changes the enemy's resistances to always be fatal to everything, and yeah, the bosses whose gimmicks are being resistant to everything, they no longer have a gimmick anymore.
억제 성공. 진짜
And it's like, obviously, the Spiral still has his grasp and the bleed damage, but those only matter if you're fighting him, like,
곧 위험한 공격이
as the
찾아올
first
거예요.
boss instead of the third, so
호위망 구축.
pretty easy to just win rate this guy to death, I'll say that much.
격발. 재장전 중이다.
운명의 기운이 공명하는 것 같아. 그 공격을 선택한 건 좋았던 것 같네.
진짜 격발.
敵に対して大きな打撃を与えました。
적개체 무력화. 확인 사살.
악당 퇴치 성공. 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
한때 도시의 별에 올랐던 손가락의 간부라 해도 이제 와선 시기를 놓쳐버린 퇴물일 뿐이군. 여기는 LCA 선봉팀 우제트. 작전 목표 달성. 시체는 회수한 뒤 연구 부서에 인계하겠다.
And that's how I beat Extreme Mode in Mirror Dungeon 6 using only Udjat Outis. She is the definition of power creep, but that is why she's worth getting. She's very strong, very cool, and there's little to not like about her. Unless, of course, you're a Butler Otis fan, that is. Anyway, that's it from me. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Goodbye.